and welcome back to the Bitcoin market update. First of all, everyone, Happy New Year. Time flies. Well, if you're here for the first time, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to make sure you stay in the loop for any of the latest market trades. Now let's dive straight into it. The current fair price of Bitcoin is sitting at 45,150. Over the past 24 hours, we've seen a staggering 8+% increase in price. So there seems to be quite a lot of volatility at the minute, and we're starting to tag prices that we haven't tagged since April of 2022. So this is really interesting. So let's get straight into it, and let's first of all have a look at some of the recent trades we've been in. So first of all, last lesson, we were looking at a lower high and an internal range setup. And this was one of the trades that I was in, and we said the reason we were interested in this trade was because we realized we were in a 4-hour range. As we can see, we had our first tap, our second tap, and we were anticipating a third tap, which didn't actually happen, resulting in a lower high. That meant it was a Trinity Model 2 that marked down all the way down. Well, we said there was also an internal range where we had a first tap, a second tap, and we got in, on the third lower high. Now we were inside this trade and we entered this trade and we marked down and we had a profit of around, 200%. Now we came out of this trade because, as we can see, Bitcoin reversed and marked right back up. So this trade was closed, but was it closed in a loss or was it closed in a profit? Well, it was closed in a profit. And why is that? Well, that's because we were able to move our stop loss to entry quite soon after we observed this markdown. All right. Now, there was another trade that was posted on the channel, which I'm sure some of you would have capitalized on, but I actually wasn't ready and I wasn't on the charts to actually take advantage of this trade. So let's see what trade that was. Well, as you can see, on the 30th of December, I've said, can we look for a 5-minute bullish break of structure in the case that this markdown towards a 1-hour supply accumulates in a range? Make sure you look for a retest after the breakout of this range. So we can see that there was a range developing here. We're looking to have, a break out of the range and entry on the retest. Now let's take a look at price action to see what transpired. So as we can see, if we, get the replay tool and we go back to where that, comment would have been made, that would have been at around here. Okay. So over here, if we go down to, let's say, the 15-minute, just to get an idea of what's going on. Well, what we can see is that as price was coming down, we quickly identified that this was a range. I'm going to draw out this range in a box, just so you're aware of the location of said range. So as you can see, as price continued to go, we're expecting price to break out of this range and enter under retracement. Okay. Well, I'm going to pause the video here. Why have I paused the video here? Well, I paused the video here because I'm sure some of you would have noticed that price has created a 10-minute demand zone. And this demand zone is indication that smart money has entered the market and there's a lot of buy opportunity over here if price is to retrace down. Now, I've marked out this zone for potential retracement. What else was I looking out for? Well, I'm also looking out for whether there are any fib zones, any fib levels that I need to be aware about. Well, what I'm going to do is draw out my fib tool, take it. Well, the first one is coming quite low over there, so I'm going to pull it up to here, and I'm going to extend this and see. What I can see here is that we have a fib zone right around here, okay, which is quite close to our demand zone. Okay, so those are the two things I'm looking out for. Now, what else did I need to pay attention to as price was coming down? Well, as price is coming down, in order to enter at that retracement, I should also be looking at market cipher to see whether there is going to be a potential divergence, a potential bullish divergence. All right. So what can we see here? We can see that price continues to come down. Well, it breaks through that demand zone. It breaks through that demand zone. Let me just double check exactly where that demand zone is. Yes, there's the demand zone there. But there is also, there's also another demand zone. There's a demand zone there, but there's also, it seems to be the case, another demand zone over here. Yes, so there's another demand zone over there, also another 10-minute demand zone. So it's broken the first demand zone, so I can get rid of that. And, well, what we can see, it's about to tag that second demand zone, all right? And we can also see over here that Market Cipher on the 12-minute has printed out a lovely, lovely, lovely bullish divergence. What's a bullish divergence? Well, as price marks down, momentum marks up. Okay, now this is an indication that price is going to turn at this level. Price is going to turn at this level. So that would have been the entry signal for that trade. All right. Okay, so now for those of you that missed that trade, like myself, that wasn't the end of the world. There was actually another opportunity to enter that trade, and that was on the second leg. So as we can see, price marked up, and then price came down again. As price came down, what are we expecting to see? Well, in this case, we're looking for a divergence, a bullish divergence, to mark the beginning of that continuation. All right. So we can see here that as price is going up, we expect what we see a hidden bullish divergence. We expect the momentum waves to go down now. That's a hidden bullish divergence. So what can we see here? We can see here that as price went up, momentum went down, marking the entry signal for that second trade. And that would have given us a nice, juicy 8% trade that we can currently still be holding. So what did price do? Well, price flirted at the entry for some time, and then, you know, it carried on going up and up and up and up and up and bang and up. And here we are now, okay? So that's it in terms of the trade setup that we missed a few days ago. I'm sure some of you would have taken that setup, and if you did, congratulations and well done. I hope you've taken some profit now, because you've seen an 8% rise, and it's probably a good idea to take some profit if you already haven't. All right. So now let's get up and close as to what's actually happening, you know, with Bitcoin at the moment. Bitcoin is playing a fascinating game, and there are a few key insights that you need to be aware of. Some of you might be thinking, well, why have you started at the monthly? That's ridiculous. That's such a far time zone away. Well, that's going to give me an idea of Bitcoin's expectation of order flow. On the monthly, I can see that Bitcoin has printed a higher high, a high low, then it's wicked that high, resulting in a break-in structure downwards. Now, because there's been a break-in structure downwards, what do we expect after a break-in structure? After a break-in structure, we expect a lower high, okay? We expect a retracement leg for a continuation of that trend. So all of this price action, that's exactly what Bitcoin is doing. It's creating that lower high. Now, where that reversal takes place, it could take, some people thought it was going to take place here, some people thought it was going to take place there, some people thought it was going to take place there. You know, no one quite knows, but it's your job as a trader to, you know, find the missing piece of that puzzle and realize exactly where that, you know, might take place. And how do you do that? You plan ahead and you prepare for all the possible, you know, alternative actions, price actions that Bitcoin could take. So that's what it looks like on the monthly. I'm then going to go on to the weekly. And on the weekly, I'm going to quickly draw out the structure just for you to see what's going on. We've got high, 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 low, high, 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 low. And we can say high, 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 low, because that would have been, you know, a low on a lower time frame, high, high. You know, then we have a break-in structure. All right, this is when everyone thought, oh my goodness, Bitcoin is going down to zero. And then Bitcoin, it continued back up. It made another high, but it didn't break. And because it didn't break, you know, it created a weak low, which was then taken out. Then we made a lower high, lower low, okay? And then what I believe has happened, we've had a break-in structure here, we've had a low, and we've just been marking up on the weekly ever since. So in the weekly time frame, this is what your structure looks like. All right. Now, of course, on a monthly, we're expecting this retracement leg to end at some point. It may end here, it may keep going up. All right, but how are we going to know when that's going to end? Well, that's going to be indicated by a weekly change in market structure. By a weekly change in market structure. So the weekly market structure will need to change. And the weekly market structure change will be indicated by a 4-hour change in market structure. So that also needs to change in order to see that transitionary phase, going from the upturn to the downturn. So what do we need to do next? Well, what we need to do next is we need to investigate what's happening on a 4-hour. All right. So on a 4-hour, we can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. On a 4-hour, we can see that Bitcoin has been putting high highs and high lows for the last few months. We haven't had a 4-hour break in structure as of yet. A lot of people thought this was a break in structure, but this seems to be a wick that encompasses the break in structure. So some may say the low hasn't been put in yet, resulting in why we've actually had a break in structure of the highs, a bullish break in structure. Okay, so on a 4-hour, we'll seem to still be on an uptrend. So we're expecting that 4-hour transition to take place. Now, where will that transition take place? That is the puzzle. That is the question. Where will that transition occur? Well, that leads us to our, trade ideas. And our potential trade idea number one is that if we zoom out to a daily, or actually if we zoom out to a 12-hour, we can see, or if you investigate closely, you can see that there is 12-hour supply left over here. So that's a potential for reaction number one. And that's why we've got trade number one over there. We've got 12-hour supply over there. But what's fascinating is that 12-hour supply marries up quite nicely with our fixed range draw, our fixed range pull. We can see we've got a value error low, point of control, and then a value error high. This value error high is tagging quite nicely with that 12-hour supply zone, which is what we call confluence. So that could potentially be a juicy area for that reversal to take place. All right, so we're going to get rid of that now. And the next thing we want to be aware of is if we draw out our fib tool, if we pull out our fib retracement from the highs all the way to the low, if we go on a weekly, so this is a little bit more clear, all the way to the low, okay, we can see that we have our zone, our fib zone coming around this region, starting at around 49,494 all the way up to 57,901. Now this is a very large range. So are we going to enter a trade with a stop loss this massive? No. But what we are going to do is we're going to zoom in to see whether we have any supply over in those regions. We can see actually when you investigate, there's an 8-hour supply coming out there. There's a 30-minute supply coming in the middle, and there is a 12-hour supply also at the top. Now that 12-hour supply is quite deep into that fib zone, and it's quite close to the 786 level. So that's an idea of where we could also get a turn. All right, so what are we looking out for? In summary, we're looking out for this 12-hour supply being a source of that reaction. We're looking at the 8-hour supply being a source of that reaction, 30 minutes as well as a 12-hour supply being a source of that reaction. And also we're looking at just the entry of that fib zone, so exactly at the 618 level to be the source of that reaction. How do we know which one is going to be the actual source of that reaction? Well, what we need to do is we need to follow market structure as we approach those levels, and that's why I've set an alert over here, I've set an alert over here, I've set an alert over here, and I've also set another alert up here. So in the case that supply fails at the first level, at the second level, at the third level, I'm aware of price action, and I am looking, to fit the last piece of the puzzle. What's that piece? That piece is to understand that we need to see a clear market structure shift as we approach those levels. So as we approach those levels in the 4-hour or in the 15-minute actually, you've been looking for a very clear market structure shift, going from printing higher highs and higher lows to lower highs and lower lows. As well as that, you're looking for market cipher to show you clear bearish divergences. clear bearish divergences. So that's the second thing you're looking out for. So you want something like this, as price goes up and then it breaks down, that would be an indication that we've printed, a break in structure, and then we can look to getting at this, lower high level. But what should we expect market structure to be doing? Well, for market structure, we're expecting something that looks like this. We're expecting a wave to do that, as well as to do something like that. Okay, so what would that mean? That would mean that we have a higher high and we have lower lows. Okay, and that is what we call a bearish divergence. All right, so that's what we'll be looking out for in each and every one of these levels. So there we have it. That's our current analysis. And just to summarize, we're looking at these shorts at the supply zones and at the fib zone. So be vigilant. Make sure you're keeping a close eye on the market. Set your targets. Don't sit in front of the screen all day looking for a trade. Set your targets, and when price hits those targets, make sure that you know exactly what you're looking for to enter those trades. So there you have it. That's your daily update as to what's going on with Bitcoin at the moment. If you found this information useful, if this has helped you plan your trades better, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you click the like so you can get future trades like this. See you next time.